A carer is somebody that provides help and support for somebody that's unable to manage themselves because of a long-term illness, a mental health condition, a learning, sensory or physical disability, an eating disorder, or if they have a dependency on drugs or alcohol. A carer is normally a friend, family member or a neighbour, and they won't always see themselves as a carer, so sometimes it is difficult to identify them. They see themselves as just fulfilling a role that they normally do, so whether it's as a husband or as a father or mother. We provide emotional support, information and breaks. We provide a lot of emotional support via telephone call or via a home visit. A lot of people just like to offload something. They don't normally have somebody they can talk to about their situation, and they certainly don't want to discuss it with the person they care for because it's more of a burden on them as well.
They can offload some of their emotion, and that's what we do, and that's what we're good at. Of taking some of those burdens, that somebody can go out of the room and say, oh, I feel a lot better now, or I know how to tackle something. Because often it's, I don't know what to say to the GP, or I don't know where I should go for this or that, and we can empower people to do that themselves, because we're not here just to do it for people, but to empower people to be able to help themselves.
At present we've got 6,500 carers that are registered with us, and they are increasing on average by 150 a month. According to the last census done in 2011, there's 47,600 odds across Wiltshire only.
I think most carers actually put their life on hold because they can't be doing the things they were doing. They may have to give up work. That in turn is some of their social life often, and then restrictions of finance, that they perhaps haven't got so much money in their pocket anymore, so they can't do the things that perhaps they were doing before. They keep a brave face, but they can actually let their hair down, they can talk to us, and they have a few tears, and they often say, I feel a lot better now.
I think isolation is one that comes across very much, that if you're looking after someone for 24/7, you have little or no time to yourself, and it's very difficult to get out and socialise with other people or just do general things that we all take for granted.
I care for my daughter, who's 13, who has Asperger's, and my 7-year-old twin son, who also has Asperger's. Because of the Asperger's, there's actually no physical sign that there's anything wrong with them. So when I explain to people I'm a carer, they don't understand, they don't get, because they're not in a wheelchair, they're not, there's an invisible wheelchair. And I find that explaining to people how much more I have to do in the day to ensure that the kids are, not surprised by anything that happens. We have to keep to strict regimes and routines, and I call it extreme parenting. However, when I speak to carers, I don't have to explain what I do. They just get it, they just understand. And they really were a door to what was out there for me. You go through the process of trying to get your child diagnosed with something. So you've spent months and months and months researching and reading, and then you get your diagnosis and they say, go on this website and everything you need's on there. But you're like a rabbit. There's headlights on and you don't know where you're going. So having somebody like carers who can then guide you through, show you what benefits you should be getting, what help there is out there for you, what groups you can go to. They also give back to us, the carer. So I've had the prescription break, which was fantastic. I went off and had a bit of Reiki healing, and that was paid for by them. And I booked in to have a bit of reflexology next month. So it's just, they are able to give me back that little bit extra, as well as the ongoing support.
One thing we do as well, provide lots of opportunities for carers to have breaks. So whether that's pampering sessions, so massage or something like that, or it's a coach trip. We run support groups around the county so people can just all get information at that particular cafe or support group, or they can actually meet other people in a similar situation. And in some cases they develop friendships as well.
I think it's really important that people realise that it can happen to anybody. Nobody chooses particularly to be a carer, it just happens.
Every carer is entitled to an annual assessment, and it's not an assessment of your capability as a carer, but it's a chance for a one-to-one to discuss any difficulties they're experiencing, or to be given the opportunity for them to reflect on their role as a carer, because sometimes it's quite frightening for a carer to realise that actually having what they do written down, they don't realise just how much they are doing.
We have clinics that are held in the GP surgeries. Some of the people have an MOT. They're invited in by the surgery, and they have an MOT with a practice nurse, and then come and see one of us as a support worker, and we'll inform them of what is available. Some people know, but some people, have not come across this before, and so it's all new to them. And I think the important bit is to know that they're not alone. We're there for information and support, moral support and emotional support.
It's very important carers receive training. They can learn certain skills that are essential really to help them care for the person they look after. And we've got actually a training coordinator who's developed a vast programme of training courses, and she works alongside other organisations, and we have courses that range from IT to support with financial issues, moving and handling courses, things like that.
I'm trying to organise 1 or 2 events every year to raise funds for the charity, and trying to make them fun events so that people can come along and have a good evening, but at the same time raise money for Carer Support Wiltshire. And that it benefits us on 2 planes really. A, it raises money, but B, it also helps to raise our profile, because we're reaching people that might not before have heard of us, and we use the opportunity to tell them a little bit about us at the same time. I'm always looking for volunteers to help with the fundraising events, because they consume an awful lot of manpower. You need quite a number of people to make an event run well. And I'm only doing, as I say, 1 or 2 events a year. And I'm really at the moment trying to get together a little fundraising committee or little group that I can just call on when these events come up and when the manpower is needed to help out with that sort of thing. I think the most successful one was a fire walk that we did in conjunction with them on bonfire night. So they closed off a section of the car park, and volunteers from Sainsbury's and from Carer Support walked across hot coals for Carer Support Wiltshire to raise money, and that was quite successful. It went really well.
We've been Charity of the Year for Sainsbury's Melksham for the last year, and this was the finale, if you like, of the year. We wanted to sort of bow out on a good note, so I organised the flash mob. It was really about raising awareness and raising the profile of our organisation. We used a musical theatre group called Devices Musical Theatre, and they do various performances locally, and so they agreed that they would do this for us. So they've been rehearsing for several months, so we were quite keen to get involved. A little bit nervous, wasn't the usual background for the kind of thing that they do, but they thoroughly enjoyed it.
I go in to see people, and often they say, I wish I'd known about carer support so much earlier, because I've been struggling for years like this and didn't know anything about you. And now I find that I can talk to somebody that understands, and it's so much easier when somebody does understand, and that's nice, and it's nice that we can do that.